Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. My name is Rod, and I'm here to do a video. This is my second take on this. I'm here to do a video for Richard McCook. He is celebrating 3 years in the VC, so congratulations on all your success. He's approaching like 2,000 subs, and it's really cool. Just another dude, just another human sitting around talking about music. And I love what he does, and I want to enter his contest and help support that channel. There are 3 questions. Each question contains 3 parts. Really easy. He wants us to show 3 CDs we wish were pressed on album, or that we wish we had a copy of them on album. Or it could be vice versa, heck. You know, it could be vice versa. I remember back in the day when CDs came out, 80s, everybody was talking about, oh, I can't wait for this album to come out on CD. Do you remember when it was the White Album? People waited and waited for the White Album to be released on CD. And anyway, he wants us to show 3 CDs we wish we had a vinyl copy of. Start off with this. Steve Earle and Del McCoury is a fantastic bluegrass album. Yes, bluegrass, full-blown bluegrass. Steve Earle, Del McCoury, they toured back in the 90s, made an album together. Saw them, it was fantastic. Fantastic tour, fantastic album. I've never seen it on vinyl. It may be. I know a lot of his stuff from the 90s has been released on vinyl. I've never seen this on vinyl. Love to get it. These next 2, I know they're not. And that's too bad. It's a promo copy of Don Wazzer. Don Wazzer, I got to bring on stage in Lukenbach, Texas. Oh yeah, Don Wazzer. He was in his 70s when he signed to Watermelon Records. And it was like his second career in music. His first one back in the 50s. He released a couple singles. In fact, he was on a bill with Elvis Presley. He chose to go into the Air Force, have kids, raise his family. Back in the 90s and the 70s, you know, he was still playing guitar and stuff, I guess, for his family, and they encouraged him to pursue it. He was rockabilly, and he was insanely good. He was signed to Watermelon Records, and Watermelon Records was a huge, huge supporter of Americana music in the 1990s. Guy was phenomenal. I mean, he just blew up the stage, yodeling and picking, and he was just a wonderful dude. Great album. Here's another album from Watermelon Records. Watermelon Records, please start reissuing this stuff. This guy was a friend of mine, Dwayne Jarvis, and this album featured Far From Perfect. Just like my speaking tonight, Far From Perfect. Dwayne Jarvis lived in Nashville. Very popular in Texas, the Oklahoma, huge on the Americana charts, man. Phenomenal guitar player. There was no flash and no fluff about him. It was just straightforward licks, and he did it well. And great songwriter. Had a song called Cocktail Napkin that was just wonderful. And we lost him to cancer. And peace, Dwayne. We'll see you when we get there, man. Next question. Show 3 CDs or 3 albums, whatever you want, where the artist that you only need the greatest hits. You're not telling people, hey, all you need is the greatest hits by them. You're saying it for yourself. For me, Billy Idol, he had a couple cool songs in the 80s. Yeah, he was a poser, kind of punk guy. Had a Generation X, which was a great band, Gen X. Billy Idol, all I need is his greatest hits. I'm cool. Elton John. Yeah, he had a Yellow Brick Road, which is a good album, and another good album back in the 70s or something. For me, I just need his greatest hits. The Cars. I have a couple of their albums. I have Shake It Up and Candy-O, but for the most part, I am cool. There's nothing to show you. It's blank. Oh. For the most part, I just need the greatest hits when it comes to the Cars. Third question. He wants us to show three artists were, you have their favorite album by them and the least favorite, the best and the worst. We don't have to say the album sucks. We don't have to say it's the worst. It's just our least favorite by that artist. And the reason I'm reshooting this video is because I forgot to pull this album originally. And then I dropped my phone. Randy Newman, Letter Criminals. Flippin' masterpiece. It's definitely in my top 20 favorite albums ever, ever, ever. Maybe in my top 10. Randy Newman, Letter Criminals is a masterpiece. 1995, he put out an album, Faust. We may have heard the play. I don't know if you have or not. Before I got this, I was not familiar with it. So if you're not, it's okay. What it was a book written in the 1500s about a Dr. Faust who sold his soul to a demon, to a demon for knowledge and prosperity. He wanted knowledge, and it was written in German, I think, originally, then translated in English. And in London, it was performed several times. Anyway, Randy Newman put it to music. He did a musical version of the play. And instead of musicians, he has listing, even though they're playing their instruments and all, but he has the cast. And listen to the cast. It's got Randy Newman, of course, but it's got James Taylor as the Lord, Don Henley as Faust, Elton John as Angel Rick, Margaret is performed by Linda Ronstadt, and Martha is Bonnie Raitt. And he also has Ry Cooder on guitar. So he has a lot of top-notch musicians. It's a double album. It's not a gatefold. It's very well produced. Between songs, there's a gentleman narrating what's happening, telling you, I guess, what part of the play was about to go down because we're listening to it. And most of it's sung. There's a lot of spoken word between the songs. The piano is great. At some points, it's almost over the top. Musically, it's kind of cool, but I don't want to listen to a play. My least favorite album by Randy Newman. Love you, Randy, but that's just the way it is. James Taylor. Boom. James Taylor, my very least favorite album by him. I'm not going to say it's no good. And this one, I forget the record label. McMurtry. His father was Larry McMurtry. His son's in a band. Not horrible. I don't like that album. It did have one good song called Memorial Day. And the song, it's real laid back though, and it's probably too long. It's like 6 minutes long. And if you know James McMurtry, it's usually just him and his guitar. He's tapping and picking. And the song Memorial Day is talking about traveling down the road. Anyway, it's my least favorite. This is my very favorite by James McMurtry. Excuse me. This is Candyland. I can get out without tearing it. This album is from early 90s. This was his second album. His first one was called Talking at the Texaco. This was actually on Columbia Records. At one time, they had high, high hopes for James McMurtry. He was supposed to be like the next great singer-songwriter. And this album has a song called Where's Johnny? And if you're over 30 years old, even if you're not, man, go with that song and listen to it. It just talks about someone who's wasting their life, who is really intelligent and then just kind of shut down. But this is a wonderful album. Love it. This album won't even make my top 500. So, and last but not least, it's Mr. Bob Dylan. Here are my favorite albums by Bob. His debut album, wonderful. The Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. The times they are changing. These things were masterpieces. And then he put this out. You may disagree with me. Street Legal is my least favorite album by Bob Dylan. I don't know if he was just running out of ideas, if they just scrapped some stuff together. This was the last secular album he made before he went on the 3-album Christian binge or Christian trilogy. He's back to regular music now, but this was the last before that. And it's absolutely my least favorite Bob Dylan album I've ever heard, that I have. And I've got a lot of his albums. Anyway, Richard, congratulations on 3 years, brother. This was a fun contest. I've been meaning to do this. I've actually had my CDs sitting out so long, I forgot why I had pulled them. And then I saw someone's contest entry the other day. I was like, damn, I never did that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Remember, be kind to each other. Safe travels to you, man. Wherever you're out there doing, man, just take it easy. Take a second and let's do this thing right and just be kind to each other.